Mussolini, a name synonymous with fascism and authoritarian rule, was not always the powerful dictator we remember. To truly understand the man behind the ideology, we must explore his early years and upbringing. Mussolini's childhood experiences played a pivotal role in shaping his radical beliefs and later actions. By delving into the significant events of his formative years, we can gain valuable insights into the origins of his political ideology. Imagine a young Mussolini growing up in a turbulent Italy, shaped by powerful influences that would define the course of his life and the history of a nation. Brief background on Mussolini's childhood and upbringing. Born in 1883 in Predoppio, Italy, Benito Mussolini grew up in a modest household with a blacksmith father and a schoolteacher mother. His family's financial struggles and his father's strong influence instilled in him a sense of determination and ambition from a young age. The family environment, marked by fervent political discussions, deeply shaped his worldview. Mussolini showed a voracious appetite for reading and an early interest in politics and ideology. Education was highly valued in his home, and despite financial difficulties, he had access to books and intellectual discussions that fueled his intellectual development. His mother, a dedicated teacher, encouraged his curiosity and love for learning. Mussolini's early exposure to political debates and revolutionary ideas in his hometown fueled his interest in politics. The discussions at home and the influence of his socialist father were fundamental to his initial political formation, planting the seeds of his future radical ideologies. Understanding formative years. The saying, "the child is the father of the man," holds true in Mussolini's case. His childhood experiences, including poverty, family dynamics, and exposure to political ideologies, laid the foundation for his future actions as a political leader. By examining the events and influences of his formative years, we can better comprehend the motivations behind his radical and authoritarian policies as Italy's dictator. Historical examples of other leaders show that formative years are crucial to understanding their future decisions and ideologies. What connections can we draw between Mussolini's upbringing and his later embrace of fascism? How did his early struggles and influences shape his authoritarian tendencies? Let's explore these connections in two parts. Mussolini faced poverty and saw inequality up close, which fostered his desire for strong, centralized governance. His father's socialist beliefs and his mother's commitment to education shaped his political and social views. Questions to explore. How did the experience of living in a small Italian town influence his vision of leadership? How did the political debates he witnessed during childhood affect his ideologies? Join us on a journey through Mussolini's formative years as we uncover the fascinating links between childhood experiences and radical ideologies. Early life of Mussolini. Benito Mussolini's journey from a small town in Italy to becoming one of the most notorious dictators in history was shaped by a series of key events and influences during his formative years. By examining his early life, we can uncover the roots of his political views and actions that would later define his reign as the leader of fascist Italy. Growing up in Predoppio, Italy, Mussolini was raised in a working-class family with a father who held strong political beliefs and a mother who valued education. His father's influence as a fervent socialist blacksmith and his mother's dedication to teaching instilled in him a blend of political awareness and intellectual curiosity from a young age. Despite financial struggles, Mussolini's parents emphasized the importance of education, leading him to excel academically and develop a passion for literature and philosophy. His exposure to different ideologies through books and school debates was crucial for his intellectual formation. One of the most significant relationships in Mussolini's early life was with his father, whose charismatic personality and socialist beliefs left a lasting impression. Additionally, Mussolini's exposure to political debates and revolutionary ideas in his hometown fueled his interest in politics and social change. These early influences planted the seeds of his future radical ideologies and authoritarian tendencies. Impact of social unrest. The tumultuous social and political landscape of late 19th and early 20th century Italy played a significant role in shaping Benito Mussolini's worldview and ideological leanings. From poverty and nationalism to the rise of political movements, the environment in which Mussolini grew up had a profound impact on his perception of governance and power. Italy during Mussolini's formative years was marked by widespread poverty, regional disparities, and a fervent sense of nationalism. The country's recent unification in the 1860s led to social and economic challenges as different regions struggled to integrate. The rise of nationalist sentiments and the quest for a strong, unified Italy fueled political tensions and ideological divisions. The presence of socialist and anarchist movements added to the volatile atmosphere of the time. Mussolini's early exposure to political activism and revolutionary ideas in Italy's socio-political climate left a lasting impression on his beliefs and ambitions. The influence of figures like Giuseppe Garibaldi and the legacy of the Risorgimento movement instilled in Mussolini a sense of national pride and a desire for a powerful, centralized state. The failures of liberal democracy and the perceived inefficacy of parliamentary politics further fueled his disillusionment with the existing political system. The societal unrest and economic struggles prevalent in Italy during Mussolini's youth shaped his perception of governance and power. Witnessing the disparities between the wealthy elite and the impoverished masses, Mussolini became increasingly convinced of the need for a strong, authoritarian leader to bring order and stability to the country. The chaos and instability of the time reinforced his belief in the efficacy of authoritarian rule as a means to address social and economic challenges. Formation of radical ideologies. Benito Mussolini's journey from a young socialist activist to the fascist dictator of Italy was marked by a gradual evolution of his political ideologies. By tracing the progression of his beliefs from his youth to his rise as a fascist leader, we can uncover the pivotal moments that solidified his radical views and shaped his authoritarian leadership style. In his youth, Mussolini was deeply involved in socialist and revolutionary movements, advocating for workers' rights and social equality. However, his disillusionment with the Socialist Party's moderate approach and his growing ambition for power led him to break away and form his own political ideology. Through his writings in newspapers and magazines, Mussolini began to articulate his vision of a strong, centralized state led by a charismatic leader, a precursor to his fascist inclinations. Several key events in Mussolini's life pushed him towards radicalism and authoritarianism. The aftermath of World War I, economic instability, and political chaos in Italy created fertile ground for Mussolini's rise to power. The March on Rome in 1922, where Mussolini and his followers seized control of the government, marked a turning point in his political career and solidified his position as the leader of the fascist movement. The consolidation of power through censorship, propaganda, and suppression of dissent further entrenched his authoritarian rule. Mussolini's childhood experiences, marked by poverty, political discussions, and a strong-willed father, directly influenced his fascist doctrines and leadership style. His early exposure to authoritarian figures, such as his father and local political leaders, instilled in him a belief in the necessity of strong leadership to maintain order and control. The combination of personal ambition, political disillusionment, and societal unrest shaped Mussolini's fascist doctrines, characterized by nationalism, militarism, and the cult of personality. Legacy of Mussolini's childhood. The echoes of Benito Mussolini's formative years reverberate through history, shaping interpretations of his political career and policies as well as offering insights into the intersection of personal history and radical ideologies. By reflecting on the lasting impact of his childhood experiences, we can gain a deeper understanding of the man behind the dictator and the enduring influence of early life on political figures and movements. Mussolini's childhood experiences continue to be a lens through which historians and scholars analyze his political decisions and leadership style. The poverty, political discussions, and authoritarian influences of his upbringing are often cited as foundational elements that shaped his worldview and approach to governance. By examining the parallels between his early life and his actions as a dictator, we can uncover the roots of his authoritarian tendencies and the motivations behind his policies. The authoritarian and dictatorial actions taken by Mussolini during his reign as the leader of fascist Italy can be traced back to his childhood experiences. His upbringing in a household marked by strong-willed authority figures and a sense of social hierarchy laid the groundwork for his belief in centralized power and control. The parallels between his childhood influences and his dictatorial actions highlight the enduring impact of early life events on shaping political leaders' behaviors and decisions. Mussolini's story serves as a compelling example of how childhood influences can shape the trajectory of political figures and movements. By exploring the connections between personal history and radical ideologies, we are reminded of the complex interplay between individual experiences and larger societal forces. Understanding the impact of childhood influences on political leaders can offer valuable insights into the origins of authoritarianism, nationalism, and other radical ideologies that continue to shape the world today. Conclusion. In exploring the impact of Benito Mussolini's childhood on his radical ideology, we have uncovered a rich tapestry of events and influences that shaped his political trajectory. By delving into the historical context of his formative years, we gain valuable insights into the origins of his authoritarian beliefs and leadership style. From his humble beginnings in Predapio, Italy, to his immersion in socialist movements and nationalist fervor, Mussolini's early life was marked by a series of formative experiences. The influence of his family, the socio-political climate of Italy, and his personal ambitions all contributed to the development of his radical ideologies. The parallels between his upbringing and his actions as a dictator underscore the lasting impact of his childhood on his political decisions. Mussolini's journey from a young socialist activist to the authoritarian leader of fascist Italy exemplifies the profound influence of personal experiences on political beliefs and actions. His exposure to poverty, political discussions, and authoritarian figures during his formative years laid the foundation for his embrace of centralized power and control. The intersection of personal history and radical ideologies offers a nuanced understanding of the complexities of political leadership. For those intrigued by Mussolini's life and ideology, delving deeper into additional resources can provide a more comprehensive understanding of his legacy. By exploring biographies, historical accounts, and scholarly analyses, viewers can gain a broader perspective on the complexities of Mussolini's political career and the broader implications of his radical beliefs. Further exploration of Mussolini's life invites critical reflection on the enduring impact of childhood influences on political figures and the complexities of historical context in shaping political ideologies.